My name is Matt Frazier. I'm the author of the blog and book No Meat Athlete. My philosophy around health and fitness is really that it's mostly about diet. I do believe that exercise is important for long-term health, but for the shorter-term changes, the more drastic, immediate changes, that's all about diet. But if you focus on whole foods, and that means foods that are in their natural state as much as possible, with as little processing as possible, that's where the health is. And along with that, I'm big on caloric density and nutrient density. So get foods that are high, pack a lot of nutrients in not all that many calories. When it comes to other kinds of changes, specifically fitness, I'm also a big advocate of small steps. I know what the temptation is when you get really inspired to make a change. You want to change all at once. The problem is that doesn't usually result in changes that last. When you take small steps, you limit the amount of effort it actually takes. You give the habit a chance to develop. It starts to become automatic in your head without really feeling like it's taking a lot of willpower. The most popular post that I've ever written for my blog is one that I called the 17 weirdest things that I do now that I'm vegan. And it was kind of a lighthearted post, and I just kind of poked a little bit of fun at all the crazy changes that I made once I went vegan. However, there's another one that really is probably a little bit more meaningful than that has been really just as popular. And it's one called Why Vegans and Paleos Should Stop Hating Each Other. In the health space, the diet space, there is a big, really it's a war going on between the vegan community, which is saying don't eat any animal products whatsoever, and the paleo community, which is saying eat like a caveman. But in this little corner of the world where we're talking about eating whole foods diets, because both of these diets do say eat only whole foods, don't really eat any of the unnatural processed stuff, pointing that out, realizing that we do have a lot of similarities in talking about wanting to eat whole and natural foods. I think that's what made that one so popular. So I've been lucky enough to go on a book tour around the country and get to meet hundreds of No Meat Athlete audience members who had made really major drastic changes as a result of eating this way. But it's not really any one individual that stands out as the most impactful change that I've made. For me, what really means the most is the time that I've spent hanging out with our No Meat Athlete running groups. And these are groups around the country and even around the world of people who are into fitness, into running, and also are dedicated, committed to eating plant-based diets. So we have that in common. It just makes for this great chemistry among these No Meat Athlete groups. The two people that I admire most in this industry, one is Tony Robbins, you know, the motivational speaker guy who I'm sure people will kind of chuckle at. But really that was the reason that I finally got started with this. Going to a seminar of his is what convinced me that you could be healthy on a plant-based diet or a mostly plant-based diet for the long term. To this day, I still listen to his stuff just to stay motivated. The other is a man named Leo Babauta, who I'm really happy to call a friend of mine. He's the author of Zen Habits, which is a very, very popular blog, one of the Time Magazine blogs of the year for a few years. His focus is on habit change. What Leo does is he really goes deeply into change and figures out how do we change most effectively. I'd say one of the most obvious places that I'm trying to take the industry with my work is to a place of greater acceptance, greater consideration of the plant-based diet as a viable one. I really do believe that a plant-based diet can not only help you with athletic recovery and therefore athletic performance, but is also one of the fastest ways to find general health. For weight loss, plant-based diet is wonderful. It's high in nutrients, it's low in calories, and I think when people do that, a lot of times they do discover that there is this inner athlete inside that kind of hasn't been allowed to come out for 20 or 30 years. If I can help them discover that in a way that's helpful to the environment and to animals, then all the better.